Hi, travelers, and welcome to April 2019. Okay. There are some important astrological aspects that are coming up. Or actually, we had Jupiter go retrograde. He stationed retrograde yesterday. He is now retrograde. So he will be traveling back through the sign of Sagittarius all the way to 0 degrees. Then he's going to station direct. I don't know what day this is. It's going to take a minute because Jupiter spends 1 year in a sign. And then he will start to, once he stations direct at 0 degrees, he might even go all the way back to 29 Scorpio. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't looked at the charts yet. Then he's going to station direct and he's going to turn around and start moving back. So what happens when planets go retrograde is that if there are any planets there, he's going to conjunct, which is he's going to touch it as he moves back. Okay, he's going to pass it. And then when he stations direct and turns around to move back, he's going to come across that point again. So those of you who have your charts, look to see what planets you have in the sign of Sagittarius. And you can go to the website every day on the main page and check the current planetary positions. Conjunctions are the most powerful aspects in astrology, and they usually trigger things in your chart. So he's going to be making some contacts. I don't know if it's conjunctions or squares or trines or what, but he's going to be doing something with, I think, either Saturn or Pluto. I'm not exactly sure which one of those. So like I said, I'm going to be writing some articles to bring you that information. So just kind of bear with me. An update for those of you who haven't signed up for the newsletter. I'm going to be having eye surgery on April 16th. I've lost a bit of sight in my left eye. Not much. It's mostly peripheral vision. And they're going to monitor that to see if maybe they should do surgery for that. I don't know about that because they talking about lasers and shit. I don't know about burning my eye. But anyway, I'm not down with that. But we shall see how that goes. I have 3 more medical tests that I have to get completed. Hopefully that's going to be done within the next... I don't even know. I'm going to say by May. I'm ready. For those of you who don't know what's going on, I just got into the VA system. I'm a vet. United States Air Force, whoop whoop. And it took me 18 years to get into the VA system to get my benefits. For a long time, they were just denying people. I have stacks of denial letters like this, where I've been trying since 2000, and I got out of the military in 89 to get into the VA system so that I could access my benefits. And finally, a vet friend of mine said, you know, try one more time. I had literally given up, just like whatever. And he said, try one more time. Just try one more time. And I did, and I got in. So this whole, I don't know, I want to say since January, I have been doing medical testing. So the VA, when you get into the military, they inspect you, you know, from head to toe, inside out. And so that's why I've been doing, and my work has been not necessarily suffering, but it's been affected. I haven't been able to necessarily devote the time, I haven't been able to devote the time to doing the work. So that's why things have been rather sketchy. Things have been rather slow on the website. It's not that I've slacked off or taking you guys money and not doing anything. I literally spent, yesterday, I think I was 6 hours in my car, just driving back and forth, different, you know, appointments, different doctors, going back to the VA, doing, you know, updating records. So it's just been a really kind of a crazy time. So I'm going to ask for your patience and your understanding. But I need to ground myself, so I'm going to do this reading today, and then I'm just going to kind of go quiet and try to work on the articles because I really need to ground myself. It's just been kind of crazy for me. We're going to do an open reading. This will be the first one for April. And what I'm going to use the Dream Oracle. I don't use these cards very often, at least not for open readings. And what I have discovered about this particular deck, I've had this deck for a number of years, is that they don't like to be shuffled a whole lot, okay? Basically, I keep them in a box, and then I just open them up, and actually, I do a little meditation over the box. Then I open them up, and then I lay the cards. And so, this is what we'll be doing today. I may pull, depending on what the story is, some kind of underpinning of what may be the underlying story with the playing cards. Then we're going to use the Psychic Oracle Tarot Oracle cards to wrap up the reading. So let me go ahead and open the box. As I said, I've already done a bit of meditation. And so what we're going to do is just lay the cards, okay? Thank you, you guys. All of you have been sending me well wishes about my surgery. I know I was kind of upset about the timing of it, but in effect, it worked out pretty much the way that it should. Underneath that Mercury retrograde, my doctor looks like he's 12 years old. I was like, oh my God. So anyway, that's it. Let's go ahead and just lay the cards, okay? This is a general reading, and it will not resonate with everyone. I will show you these cards. Let's see if I can get the... Okay, there we go. So what we have is the Dancer of Lies. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. The Hunter of Paths. The Ancestor of Skill. It's an interesting story already. The Spirit of Nature. I'm sorry, of Nurture. The Spirit of Challenge. And this is our focus right in the center here. The Shaman of Reflections. I know these are different cards. You don't see me use these very often, but I'm going to give you the intuitive reading because I think this is the Ancestor of Exile. I have two ancestor cards, two spirit cards, a dancer, a hunter, and a shaman. Another ancestor. The Ancestor of Memory. And the Shaman of Loss. Oh, let me move my hand. See that? Right in the center, this Spirit of Challenge, with this particular, somewhat like a two-headed figure, almost, on an extended head. I feel for some of you that you yourself feel as though you're outside of yourself looking in. I feel that some of you are in a place where perhaps you no longer recognize who you are or what is happening. But I also feel this relates to someone that you are dealing with. That you yourself don't recognize this individual. That they themselves have two heads. That they themselves are outside of the realm of reality. I don't know if that makes any sense, but this is what my guides are telling me to say to you. I feel for some of you, down here, Dancer of Lies, the Spirit of Nurture, and the Ancestor of Exile. I feel for some of you that there has been a recognition and or a truth or an illumination about either someone has lied to you or that the situation in which you find yourself has all been a lie. Okay? For some reason, I get the sense that some of you feel as though you have been forced out, or someone has pushed you out. And you have been butting heads, going back against that, trying to remain exactly where you are. The butting of heads. I'm not exactly sure, because this looks like a building to me. It appears to be like a building or a structure, which in one sense implies maybe that this is about a house, a home. It could be about a business, but it is also, structures provide safety. They give you security. They keep you protected. They can be your sanctuary. So I think for this particular situation, all of those things that this particular structure represents, you are in a place where nothing seems solid. The lies or the recognition and or the truth of this particular situation now puts you in a position where you have to figure out where it is you're going to go, what it is you're going to do, what is the path that you need to take. This is the hunter of paths. And I feel that whether you know it or not, you do have the skills and the knowledge to work yourself through this. The ancestor of skill. Not only do you have the skills and the knowledge, the know-how, you also, whether you know it or not, do have your ancestors to help you. So you're going to have to figure out how to tap into your ancestors to help you. I wrote an article on setting up an ancestor altar. I think it came out a week and a half ago or something like that. So for those of you who have access to the website, please go back and read that article. I want you to be cautious of which ancestors you call upon to help you. Do know this: your ancestors are always there to help you and assist you. You simply have to call upon them. What you need to know is that if one of your relatives or your ancestors was a mean, nasty person in life, they're going to be a mean, nasty person as a spirit. So, if your Uncle Joe, had a business, but he was just a spiteful, mean, old, nasty person, that's not the individual I would call upon. The other thing that you need to know about calling upon your ancestors is that you can call back across eons. Okay? To all of my ancestors, known and unknown, blood of my blood, bone of my bone, and those of you willing to assist me, come to this place. You're going to have to call them down to assist you, and they will come. I promise you, they will come. Another reason why I feel this is what some of you need to do is because the knighting from the ancestor of skill over to the card of the spirit of nurture. You have a foundation to stand upon. Not only do you have a foundation to stand upon, but you also have a cloak of protection, okay? A cloak of security. You are not able to access that at the moment because you don't understand what the situation is. Moving across, this is the spirit of challenge, and that is your challenge. That is your challenge. We have the shaman of reflections. Now, what are shamans? Shamans are beings who are, or people who have the ability to cross the spirit realm. They have the ability to see through the veil, beneath the veil, under the veil, around the veil, through the veil. Okay? They access it utilizing different things. They cross over and then they come back with the knowledge. So again, I think for some of you out there, it's very, very important for you to set up your ancestor altar. And it's not expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. In the article, I give you exactly what it is that you need, just the bare minimum. You don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of fancy things. In time, if this is something that you maintain and you keep up, do know that your connection with your ancestors will be stronger. You will definitely see changes in your life. At that point, you can then begin to add on to your altar. But you only need 3 things, okay? The reflection of this comes at a time where you know that you must separate yourself. You know that you are being separated. You know that there are 2 parts of you that don't feel as a whole. Reflections and exile. This is based upon whatever the lies are that have come to you, that realization. I feel for some of you that you are having difficulty releasing that memory. This is why we're butting heads. Change is always difficult. Change is scary. And it's not really the change that we are frightened of. It is the what happens after, or what happens if. It is the fear of the unknown. This is the ego speaking to you. This is the ego saying, you know what? Everything could go wrong. Or you're going to fail. Or you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not thin enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not rich enough. But the path and the challenge to walk through that is saying to you, remember where you've come from, and remember, how are they telling me to say it? Remember who you are. Remember where you come from. Remember all of the things that got you to that point. You can face whatever this exile is to you. You don't have to butt heads with it. That is a choice. Because here we have the shaman of loss. Many of you, some of you, the loss has come through the idea of the lies. You're trying to uphold something that is no longer true. So it's not necessarily the things or the place or the position or the people that you've lost. It is the situation, the recognition, the truth, that safety and security that has held all of this time under this structure, okay? That is what you fear. That is the loss that you fear. But the thing about loss is that once we, per se, accept the challenge that things are no longer the way they used to be, or things can no longer stand the way they have been, you are being challenged to release that and let that go. And then the loss turns into a find. It is the idea of accepting the challenge, of recognizing, okay, that the way you remember things, or the memories you'd like to hold on to about whatever this situation is, or the memories you would like to make going forward, those really are under your control. The thing about memories is the way memory works is you're supposed to, over time, forget things. That's just the way it's designed. But then you have the idea that you can create new memories, okay? Particularly when it's a painful situation. You remember the pain, yes, but eventually the pain will fade, or the intensity of the pain will fade. Your memory will forget that intensity. You may not forget it altogether, but it's designed so that some new memories can be made, something new, some new neural pathways can be created so that you can have new experiences. I want to read to you the meaning of the shaman of loss, because this is our outgoing energy. So it says the skill and reflections, and then loss. So by utilizing all of your skills and your resources, reflecting upon the situation, you can positively let something go. Is it going to be painful? Might it be painful? Might it be difficult? Of course. But you got to remember that is the ego talking to you. The shaman of loss. And going back to the definition of a shaman, or what they do, that is a transmutation of something. They are able to transcend, transmute, transport. Okay, any trans that you can throw in front of a word, this is what shamans do. The universe cannot survive without balance, and all things have their opposites. Thus, joy must have sorrow, good must have evil, beauty must have ugliness, and gain must have loss. The shaman of loss helps us to understand why some things must pass away, why we sometimes lose our path, and why at times all sources of nourishment may seem to dry up. But not all loss is bad. Sometimes we lose things that do us harm. The shaman in this image walks beside us through the labyrinth of time and helps us to rediscover things we believed lost to us forever. It is simply a perspective. The interpretation is the rediscovery of forgotten truths, because we've been operating in an atmosphere of lies. Loss and gain, restoration, balance, coming to terms with loss, endurance, acknowledging who we are, and allowing things to pass onward. The message of this card: I am the shaman of loss. I can interpret lost ideas, traditions, beliefs, and meanings, values you once cherished but have since forgotten. I help you to understand what losing sometimes means, and teach you the paradox that loss is actually gain. I help those who are lost to find themselves, and those who have lost the path to rediscover it. No matter what you feel is missing from your life, I can help you to replace that loss with fresh hope. That is your challenge. Now, I'm going to pull 3 cards to see what these cards may have to tell us. I think this, for some of you, is really about the idea of not wanting to move onward. Okay? Maybe it's a sense of guilt. I don't know. Maybe it is fear. Maybe it is nostalgia. I don't know. But this is something you need to ask yourself, and you most definitely can call upon your ancestors to show you the clarity and the truth of this situation. And what do you need to do moving forward? 8 of spades. 8 of Diamonds and the Seven of Hearts. Now, traditionally, the spades are about thoughts, pain, communication, sometimes deception. The diamonds speak on a financial sense, but this is a more comprehensive reading, so we're going to look at the actual physical realm aspects of it. Maybe some of you are figuring out you have to leave wherever you are. Maybe some of you have lost your job. Maybe there has been a break in a relationship and you are leaving the safety and the security of what you once knew, because now you realize that it's almost like, to me, the Dancer of Lies card, or this is like the Tower card. That's what I'm being shown. To me, this is like the Tower card. It is that sudden realization that everything you thought you knew, the safety and security you thought you had, no longer exists. The ground has crumbled underneath you. It's been knocked out from under you. You have been exiled. And this Seven of Hearts, that's like the Seven of Cups, right? Yes, there's confusion. This is a transition for you. This is a time in which it's not an initiation period. It is a transitional time. It is a time of moving from one phase to another in whatever the situation may be. Okay? Not being afraid of releasing that old so that your palm is free to accept whatever the new is. Temptation, misfortune, danger, and upsets. A change, either a new job or a job situation, but simply I'm going to read this like there's a change in your physical circumstances or physical surroundings. What you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're investing your money, your time, your whatever your skills and resources are. And here is the Seven of Hearts. Someone whose interest in you is unreliable. Someone with fickle affections for you. But this card can also indicate lovesickness, which would speak to me of why it's difficult to release this situation. Now, someone who is unreliable, what I'm getting from that is that either the person's feelings towards you have changed. Maybe their thoughts of you and the support that you've received from them has changed. Okay? You're no longer feeling those things like you used to, but it's not necessarily based upon you feeling different. It goes back to that two-headed. It's like you don't recognize the person. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know what their motivations are. It's like it's somebody that you don't know. Okay? Now, if this is a work situation, it could be the idea that somebody has let you go after years and years of working there, giving you great projects, and then suddenly their interest in you changes. Right? If this is a familial or a romantic relationship, same thing. They no longer feel that kind of connection to you. You don't understand why that is. They've not given you any explanation, and right now you're kind of going through the motions. Maybe you're hoping that the person's going to come and explain it. I don't think they can at this particular point. And even if they can, all right, the question becomes, do you invest your time in trying to get them to explain something to you that even if they explained it, you may not understand it? Or is it time for you to see through the lies or maybe even the self-deception and recognize and accept that you're on a new path? I keep seeing the Six of Swords here. That even after this situation passes, when you move away from it, you will be taking those memories with you. But trust me, over time, whatever feelings and associations that you have with those particular memories will pass. You will see, I think you will find a very, very much more rich environment based upon that particular experience as you move forward through this. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. I'm trying to. Now, formulate your question. That's why I like these cards. They just kind of very gently give you the story. Maybe this is, a home is breaking up. A family unit, a relationship, a job loss, a loss of someone close to you. I don't necessarily feel that anybody has passed away, but it's almost like that mourning energy. You're mourning what used to be. And that's only natural. And yes, you will get through it. It may be difficult, but that is your challenge. You're going to have to figure out where the gain is in this. It's another Eight of Swords. You are trapped in fear. This card reveals that it is actually your own fear that has you immobilized and trapped, preventing you from making decisions or choices. You, and that's italicized here, are the one who's holding yourself prisoner or hostage. And in order to continue your journey, you must first face your fears so that new people and conditions can manifest. Many individuals choose to stay in this place because they cannot see the road ahead. They feel a misguided sense of safety there, or they're afraid of starting something new. But staying will only add to your levels of stress and anxiety and create adverse effects in your physical body. That's the transition of the shamans. Seek out wise counsel for assistance. You do not have to do this alone. Know that you possess all of the tools that you need to free yourself. You are forgetting how strong you really are. This period will end when you use your mind to cut through the limitations caused by your emotions. That's what I have for you for the first open reading. If you like a tarot card reading, or if you like a Akashic Records, or even an etheric cord cutting session, you can click on the eye over here. That'll take you directly over to the website. My turnaround time is 24 to 72 hours. Sometimes we all just need a bit of clarity or words of inspiration or a bit of support in terms of our challenges. I would, if you have not joined, you can do the $7 30-day. You will get access. You get 3 natal charts, all of the articles you get access to, and other videos there. Those of you who are already members of the website, I implore you to please go back and read that article on the altars, setting up your altar. Altars are places of power. And they can be a great source of strength and courage and clarity and support. Each altar is an individual expression of who you are at your core. If some of you feel lost, the path, not recognizing yourself, that is one of the best ways to get in touch with it. You can post your questions if you have any questions about altars. Those of you on the website already, you can post your questions underneath that article, and I promise you I will answer you. You know that I do. So with that being said, I want to wish everybody a great April. I mean, we're already flying through. It's already the middle of April. Can you believe that? Okay, so that's what I have for you. I hope those messages helped. And until next time, be good to yourselves. Namaste.